don't understand this. What are you thinking?
I had no choice.
Yeah, but I can claim self-defense or he attacked.
Yeah, stop. It's done.
You'll go back to prison.
I don't want to go back there either. But the main thing now is that you and Chloe are safe.
I'm so sorry.
I've done it before. I'll do it again. What's important now is that Chloe's okay. Time's up, guys.
Just a few more minutes, please.
I'm sorry. It's okay. Go home to Chloe. Make sure she's okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
Hello and welcome to Coastal News, an unofficial home and away podcast where Sophie and myself, Simon, take you through all the very big action from Summer Bay this week. It's been a monumental week, I'm sure we can all agree. So we'll be giving you our forensic opinion on things such as Mia getting caught with Matthew's body in the boot but not taking the rap for it, actually walking free. Definitely got some opinions on that this week. Ryder getting buried alive and the fallout from Martha refusing her kidney transplant from Rue, plus much more that's been going on. Do stick around. Also later in this episode, your first look at Home and Away ahead and what we'll be discussing on next week's podcast. And a very special announcement. Do stay tuned. Now that's all covered, let's do this. Hello everybody and welcome once again to another Coastal News. Actually very exciting Coastal News this week. We've been itching to record this. Welcome Sophie.
Hello, I'm so excited.
All week I've been like, making notes like, oh my gosh.
I've been trying not to text you as much because I'm like, I need to keep it for Friday.
I know, like, don't use all my good stuff. What a week it's been. Obviously super duper week, everything's going down.
Yeah.
And you know, there's not one day where something massive plot wise has happened this week.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
and
shattered.
obviously, I know.
Tired.
Take a deep breath, press play.
I know.
So obviously, like always, we're going to take all our listeners through it all and give you our opinion on it. But before we do, got a little announcement about our scheduling, okay, and an exciting sort of new element to our podcast, and that's subscriber, isn't it? So some of you may have seen, if you follow us on Twitter at Coastal News Pod, we announced the other day that you can now subscribe to the podcast if you want, very optional. But by doing so, you'll get early access to our episodes. So Saturday's podcast day, we all know that, but you'll get access on the Friday ahead of time. So you'll get first look at that. And also there'll be bonus episodes that general listeners won't be able to have access to. There'll be extra content, that all the stuff that ends up on the cutting room floor that doesn't make it to the episodes, and there's a lot of it. Sophie and I, we can talk. I'm sure you don't mind
really talk.
So you'll get access to loads of unheard recordings. And also a special new segment that we're introducing, Sophie Scoop. Tell us a bit about Sophie Scoop.
So Sophie Scoop is basically like a gossip section, isn't it? So behind the scenes, if you want to hear about stuff that's going on with your favourite cast, or maybe with your least favourite cast as well, Yeah, get in on the scoop. And,
Yeah, there's always an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be available to subscribers only. Now, it's not going to set you back if that's all you like, all that you're a fan of the show, and you want all the extra stuff. You can subscribe for 99p, and you'll get all that sort of every week. So even if you do it for 1 month, you'll get that sort of 4 times. So it's a lot of content for 99p, I reckon. You can subscribe by clicking the link in the description of this episode, or you can carry on as you normally are, and these episodes will be available to you as always, nice and reliable on a Saturday. Exciting times, I think.
VIP, baby, VIP.
Yeah, get on the guest list. Right, on with the show. So we left off in this mad dramatic scene at the side of the road. Cash has pulled over Mia, and he wants to search the car, doesn't he?
Oh, I know. I was cringing. I was like, oh no! And she didn't say a word, did she? She just kept like sort of staring at him, and he was like, Mia, open the boot, open the boot.
I know.
She was like,
no. I know. I actually found I was laughing a little bit, if I'm being honest, at this scene, because I think it's just because it's Mia. But she sort of gets out of the car and is sort of just covered in blood, and she's like, you know, trying to hide it. And he's like, Cash just checks it, and he's like, oh, not everything's as it seems. I think I'm going to need to search your vehicle. Yeah. And there's another cop car. There's like a roadblock that's happened to stop her from like speeding off.
I did a bit of a thick moment because I was like, well, how does he not know it's Mia? And then I was like, oh, it's not her car, it's Matthew's car, because he was chasing for ages, wasn't he? And he was reading out the license plate, and I was thinking, surely he'd recognise like Mia's car. And then I was like, oh no, it's not her car, it's Matthew's. So he doesn't know who he's chasing at that point, does he? So he's radioing it in and saying, I'm following this car. She's doing 130 mile an hour, did they say? It was like, or was it? Oh no, it's kilometres an hour, isn't it? Because it's Australia. But it was going fast. And he was saying, oh yeah, this car, and I'm following it. And he was calling for backup, wasn't he? So then we got this line of police cars cutting them off.
Yeah.
On the road.
But did you notice they didn't help him? He's got this woman out of the car. And he's like, I need to search a vehicle, and she's just sort of sat by the side of the road. And what were the other people? Were they just sat in the car, like having a fag?
Just having a chill. Well, they didn't get out there. That was weird, actually. You know, when they first pulled her over, and they did the roadblock, and then she stopped, but she was still revving the engine. Did you see that? And I was thinking,
I thought,
is she going to try and ram them? Like,
I thought, oh my god, budget. That's like, she's going to actually take these 2 cop cars out here.
But they didn't do anything, did they? Like the back, they literally wear a barricade, and then they were like, "Yeah, right, you got her. Good, see you."
I thought at one point, she's going to do a runner into the bush here and stumble upon poor Theo upside down from a piece of barbed wire. I thought, how are these stories going to cross?
They didn't, did they? I thought they would. I thought they would, but no, they didn't, did they? Kept them separate.
No.
Yes.
Well, he opens the boot though, doesn't he? And you know, oh dear. There's a lifeless Matthew, much to your pleasure, pleasure.
I was just so happy about that. But I bet his flowing locks just kind of fell out of the boot, looking very beautiful. And that's why Cash was stunned. He was like, "Wow, that hair."
Yeah, this whole thing. Was it you who said last week? It's all very rushed. Was it this you were?
Yeah.
And it's sort of been very quickly climaxed, hasn't it? And the plot sort of was from that point, even up to this point, because we commented on it last week. But from that point, I felt like the plot was just moved on so fast at this point. And I actually felt quite knackered for keeping up with the pace of these episodes, to be fair.
I am shattered now.
Did you?
I am
Yeah. It's just been mad, hasn't it? And I think it's been quite plot driven.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know am I focusing on that because I've not got too much feeling about these particular characters,
Yeah.
and so I'm literally rolling with the plot, because I'm not, I've not got, this now. I've not got that sympathy for Mia,
No.
especially because she finds herself obviously down at Yabby Creek PD,
Yeah.
behind the clink. Oh no, she does the no comment interview. Do you know when he
Yeah.
paused that camera? I thought, well, it's going to unpause, isn't it? I thought,
I thought he was pausing it to say off the record, Mia, let's talk, but he didn't. He just left the room. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just let her have more visitors than I've had in 3 years through COVID.
You're right.
What?
Yeah, there's like several people turned up. Can I talk to Mia? No. Can I talk to Mia? No. Can I talk to Mia? Okay, go on then. And then can I talk to Ari? No. Can I talk to Ari? No. Can I talk to Ari? Oh yeah, go on then. You just have to ask him 3 times, and he said yes.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'll just look over here into this filing cabinet. Absolutely ludicrous. The policing. I mean, the policing's always been a shocker in Yabby Creek, hasn't it? But absolutely shocking investigation. This. She's so Ari's allowed in the room with her to concoct this story, find out what's gone on. So then he comes out and admits he confesses to killing him through his anger of the attack and whatnot, the disputed what's the word I'm looking for? Ooh. The disputed intercourse. I don't know. I've had a couple of limoncellos.
I can't think what word you're looking for. Disputed.
I don't know. I'm trying to sit on the fence about this rape.
Oh, allegation.
Yes, that's the word. Allegation. Yes. He sort of says to Cash, doesn't he? This is the situation, and I'm not happy with it, so I've decked him in, killed him by accident. It's all me. Let her go. And then she's allowed to go.
Yeah, I know.
What the hell? She's just been caught speeding. She's been caught with a body in the car. I mean,
Yep.
Hello.
Well, Cash obviously has a lot more power than we give him credit for. That he can make deals and barter people's freedom. Yeah.
I'll give you a confession, because just a confession like that is enough, despite somebody else being found with the body.
Yeah.
Even if there's other evidence that would put Tane at the scene.
Yeah.
Such as John dusting his Venetians.
It's mad. Are they not going to
she would still go down for a long time. I know. Well, I'm thinking about this. Can they get fingerprints off a brick?
I don't know. They can get fingerprints off a lot of stuff these days, can't they? So I don't know.
Because only Chloe touched the brick.
Yeah, only Chloe touched the brick, and also I watch a lot of CSI. I'm really sad, but the angle of which she hit him, they would know it was somebody that wasn't Ari's height, as well.
Oh, let's see. Oh, right, yeah.
So if they actually investigate it, I think it'd be full of holes. This case, I'll be honest. But the fact that he's confessed, does that mean they don't test everything now? They just go, okay, fine.
I was about to say, yeah, someone's confessed, case closed. It's ludicrous. In fact, it's offended me, actually. I feel really strongly about it because Mia and Chloe are walking free. I can't believe we're supposed to go along with someone being found speeding out of town. At least give her a bloody speeding ticket. She's got a dead body in the boot.
She's stolen a car. Free. It wasn't her car.
Stolen a car.
Yeah. Speeding. Dead body.
Covering up a murder.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I know.
Are we supposed? I've got quite a good imagination. I'm happy to go along with a lot, but this is difficult. This is really difficult.
It is
what do you guys think who are listening? Are we can't be the only ones that are like, this is just ludicrous. We can't be the only ones. Let us know what you think. Tweet us, contact us, Twitter and Instagram at Coastal News Pod. We need to know because it's just nuts. So everything gets swapped. Ari's now in the clink.
Yeah.
Mia's let go, and he gets a bail hearing, doesn't he? Bail refused, got previous, been inside before, yada, yada, yada. That one was quite obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But then Tane sort of gathers the troops, doesn't he, and takes control of the house. Sort of like, right, everybody needs to sit down because Neek's not happy. Neek's playing up.
Neek's a child. Neek needs to grow up, and yeah, I was screaming at him the other day. I think sent you a message, didn't I? I was like, "What's wrong with him? He's guy's got serious anger management issues. It's not fair." That scene he pulled in the police station, I was like, really? No, this is not the time. Like, just wanted to just grab him and say, just no, Neek, you're just making it worse. Like, he's been doing my head in this week, as you can probably tell. How bizarre.
But I was saying I really didn't like his performance. I don't want to be awful to the actor.
Yeah.
But I didn't enjoy his performance. I didn't think it was all that great, to be honest. But what he actually had to say was quite valid, in my opinion. He was sort of saying, look, why are we covering up? Ari could go away for a long, long time here. This is a joke.
Yeah.
And he fast forward to later in the week, he sort of says to Chloe, doesn't he? He has that scene with Chloe, and he says, I think it's best for everybody if we tell the truth.
Yeah.
She nearly does, doesn't she?
Yeah, God, I know. Yeah.
What's your thoughts about this whole thing, this whole mess now? What's your thoughts? Where's it going to go? Are they doing the right thing? What you think? What your gut feelings about this?
I agree with you. I don't really understand why they put the body in the boot in the first place. I know it's because it's more of a storyline, and it makes us talk about it, and it's made it into this big drama. But really, if you've just hit somebody like that by accident, didn't mean to kill them, wouldn't you just call the police? And I don't know. I think the whole thing is just bizarre. And then the fact that it's gone from Chloe killing him, Mia taking over, now Ari getting the rap, and Ari's the one with the jail history, as we know, which is why he didn't. He's
got the most to lose, hasn't he?
He has. Yeah. But then we do know that Ari is leaving, don't we? So is this just convenient story writing for that? Is that the only reason Matthew's been brought back in? To their lives.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Now, we know now because we know the spoiler.
Yeah.
But it's all plot. It's all plot. It's not really.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's why that sort of straddle that we've been discussing the last few weeks of, sexual assault, and it's been quite ambiguous. We don't actually know what happened. It could have gone either way, and it wasn't really solved before Matthew was murdered. We didn't learn that it was actually, there was no flashback, there was no explanation. Yeah, it was a violent rape, or it was just that they were drunk and two people remember it in different ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's not been resolved and will go unresolved because that doesn't really matter now.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the plot is Ari inside. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel a bit cheated really on that side of things. It's been good and I've lapped it up, loving it. Because I do love a good plot. But it's a bit plot heavy. And now we know what's coming. Thank you, internet. It's all clear to us now.
Yeah.
That we shouldn't have really got too invested in their backstory because it's not about that.
Do you think, I don't know, do you think it would have been different if Chloe had hit Matthew and Mia wasn't there but Ari was there instead? Do you think things would have panned out differently? Do you think Ari would have got rid of the body and still gone to prison? Or do you think, I don't know.
I honestly no idea. Because actually Matthew didn't really do anything other than touch her arm.
I know.
And she's leapt from brick. Yeah. From that to picking up a brick.
Yeah.
I don't know if the scenario was different. I don't know. Because everyone, later in the week when everyone's sort of finding out the news, everyone's, Ari's not capable of that.
It's going to be the worst kept secret ever, isn't it? It's going to be one of them that's just a secret that everyone knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know that because Bella finds it out. If Bella can work it out.
Yeah, exactly.
But I tell you who hasn't worked it out yet is Felicity. We mentioned last week about sort of what was coming up and her feeling sort of sidelined a bit from the Parata drama, and because Tane, like I say, was taking charge of the household, no girlfriends to know.
Yeah.
Nick obviously tells Bella the cover story, but not the truth.
Yes.
And Tane's not happy about it because that means the more people around the bay that know, the less control he's got on the narrative, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And Tane kept saying, it's Ari's story to tell. It's not our story to tell. So if anyone's going to hear it, it's going to be his version of it.
Yeah.
So, well, it's pretty noble of him, but I think it's also really naive. So.
Yeah. And there was a really nice moment because Felicity's not really getting it. I mean, she's going through it was a few days ago, she was running off to a cabin with Tane, right?
Yeah.
And now everything's sort of reversed. And he sort of had to say to her, I need some space from you. Right, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
She doesn't get it. She needs him more, probably.
Yeah.
And then she sees this sort of rat-a-tat with Tane and Ziggy, and sort of has a heart-to-heart with Ziggy, doesn't she? She's like,
yeah, that was quite an interesting scene, actually, wasn't it? So I think Ziggy was like, look,
unexpected, I'd say.
Yeah. She was like, well, there's nothing going on. She really thought she was going to get, a mouthful from Flick, didn't she, about talking to her man and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was Flick just going, look, he shut me out. What do you reckon? And Ziggy was like, if he shut you out, he's done it for a reason and you can trust him and all. And I thought that was quite a nice scene, actually.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have expected them to have anything like that.
No.
And I think that's when this show is the best, when something just a simple scene and it comes completely left field.
Yes.
And you just think that was actually, it turns out to be quite an important scene.
Yeah,
because
it did. Yeah.
You sort of then, Felicity goes to Tane afterwards, and he's also expecting Felicity to be Felicity and be like, I need you, it's me.
Yeah.
And she sort of says to him, I've had a chat with Ziggy, and I don't understand it, but I respect it.
Yes.
Something like that, doesn't she? Not in so many words.
Yeah.
And I thought she's showing real maturity there.
Yes.
I mean, we literally described her as juvenile on last week's episode.
I know. Yeah.
Genuine, do you reckon? Genuine?
I hope so. I don't know whether she'll last much longer than a week, but I think right now she does mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I saw something in her that I'd not seen before.
Yeah.
I thought, actually, she can think about other people.
Yeah.
And
I think she genuinely cares about him, doesn't she? So I think that's what is maybe the difference, is that maybe for so long she's just cared about her and Cash, and now she actually cares about Tane as well. So maybe
she's letting him in.
Yeah, those feelings, like that wall's coming down, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And it's only going to make us root for them more.
Yeah, definitely.
People are going to be, you can see why people are shipping them on the fan base, because the writers know what they're doing with this whole getting these couples together. It's stuff like this that makes you create a deeper connection with the characters, isn't it? And want them to thrive more. And it's not going to be long though till she learns the truth, is it?
I don't think so.
Because thanks to the good old Coastal News.
Woohoo!
all over the front page, the whole town's
Irene
is shooketh.
Yeah, she was. She actually was.
Oh
shaking.
My Godfather!
She was actually shaking when she read that, because I was watching it and I was watching the Coastal News wobbling up and down. I was like, "Hold it still, Irene! I want a screenshot."
Trying to capture this. Yeah, John's right on the Rima Mill, isn't he? And Al's not having any of it. Second pop it in. We'll come on to Alf in a moment.
Oh dear.
So, like you said earlier, worst kept secret, I think. And where we're going to go from here, I don't. Bella's rumbled it already.
Yeah.
Chloe's falling to pieces and she's blurted it all out.
And I think Cash, bless him, we do say he's a bit thick sometimes, don't we? But Chloe went to see Cash in the police station, and at first I think he didn't really understand what was going on. But when Tane appeared and sort of, grabbed her and said, "No, we're going home. You don't need to talk to this guy." I think something started to click with Cash then, because Cash doesn't really believe that Ari's capable of it either, does he?
Yeah.
So why is that going to happen? If the copper starts to work it out?
Yeah, you're right. They're alluding that Cash doesn't really think it's the right story either, does it?
Yeah.
It's just so bizarre that we're just taking someone's confession. Anyway, what if, like when Chloe went down and nearly confessed?
Yeah.
What then? Two people have confessed. A different one's been caught with the body. What did they do then?
Well, then they would have to actually do some investigation. They would have to find some forensics and work out which one it was. So, yeah.
No one's been door to door. John's not mentioned that he's been interviewed.
No. Well, John,
did he hear anything? Did
John
he see anything?
The Neighbourhood Watch. Did you
yes.
see that? Yeah.
You were on it, weren't you?
I knew that was coming. Oh, dear. Bless him.
Because he was trying to get in, but it's like he knew something exciting was going on over the road. Something tense, I think, was the word he used.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I need to know. It's like, stop gossiping, Palmer.
Yeah.
I need to know because I'm one of, I'm head of the local Neighbourhood Watch, and Irene was like, "You're the only one." Yeah. Oh, I really like Irene and John's friendship. They went for dinner again.
They did. Oh, but don't make it weird, please, because I can't.
Do you reckon?
Oh no!
Do you reckon every now and then he just sort of pushes his knee against her?
Oh no! I can't. No, it's gross. They're just not a couple. They're just it's like watching a brother and sister together. No, you can't put John and Irene together. It's just wrong.
Yeah, but I can try.
No. No.
Do you want to tell, because you did so well last week, so do you want to tell our listeners how they can get in touch with us on social media?
Oh no! I forgot you were going to do this to me. I knew you'd do it again. I'm not prepared. Okay, so here we go. Sophie's going to try and be an adult. So we do have a Twitter account and we do tweet about Home and Away. So you need to join in the conversation with us. So it's at Coastal News Pod on Twitter. We're also on Instagram, aren't we? And then you can get the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. So Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Google, what was the other ones? Player FM. Where else are we?
Player.
We're all over the internet, aren't we? We're dominating the internet. So you can find us. No excuse not to listen.
There we go.
No excuse not to get in and talk to us as well and tell us your different opinions. We want to hear like that one that we've just heard with the mystery blonde lady and Logan being a better match than Mac and Logan. We're not sure about that. What do you guys think? So get in on the conversation.
Let us know. Yeah. Let us know. We'll discuss it on future episodes, won't we?
Yes.
Amazingly well done.
Thanks. Winged it.
We're swapping roles next time.
Oh no, you're stressing me out. I've got sweaty
I'm only
hands
joking.
I was like, oh no, I knew you were going to do this, but I'm still not prepared.
What else we had going on was, which was also quite heightened, which is why we're so haggard. We've got Ryder in the coffin, and we spoke about we were left in jeopardy. No one knows where they are. Theo's fallen over some random barbed wire, and
that's so weird. That could he not free himself? Seriously? Oh dear.
Well, yeah, you could have literally just bent. It was like, I do like a phone just out of reach, though. It's completely unnecessary.
I did feel for him a little bit when we saw him overnight, and there was like noises coming from the trees, and he was like, "Hello, hello," and I was like, "Oh, imagine if that was real, and you're lying there, and you don't know what's gonna sort of turn up." Oh, it's horrible.
That sort of first-person camera angle they were using for some creature in the was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, did feel a little bit sorry for him then, but not for long. Yeah.
No, it's only so much. It's only so deep. That feeling. So his phone's out of reach. Ryder is in. He's in the ground. He's realised, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The time has gone up, and he's realised, right, Theo's not coming for him.
Yeah.
Sort of thinks this is the boomerang. Yeah, Theo, but Shazza E was straight on it. Say boomerang. He sort of realised Theo was probably being Theo.
Yeah.
You know.
And he was really, because he had taken off and gone and got food from the diner and then spent some time with Chloe and all that sort of stuff. So he had been a bit of a jerk up until that point. So Ryder's leap to think that he was just playing a prank on him was, not that far fetched, was it? But
no. I do have a problem with this. Well, I have a couple, but the first one, Ryder's streaming live, no problem for hours, five hours. But he phones Justin.
And he can't hear him.
I know.
I was the same. He was like, hello, can't hear you. I was like, oh. Was it because his phone was dying at that point? You know, when your phone's dying,
maybe
you do lose signal a bit, don't you? But it did feel a bit like, really?
You're being too kind. It was just stupid.
Benefit of the doubt.
And then Justin's like, oh well, carry on with my day.
Yeah, I've got pizza. I'm going. Bye. I'd be the same, to be fair. I've got food. I'm off. See ya.
Yeah, and then because of that, no one knows where they are, and then literally, it's the next day, isn't it?
It is.
And they're all sort of discussing why they didn't come home.
PhD 32 or whatever the guy's name was, it PhD 32 or PhD 12? He said that Ryder only got 90 minutes of oxygen left after the 4-hour mark. So I worked out in my small brain that he'd got 5.5 hours worth of oxygen. He'd obviously been in the box a lot longer than that overnight, hadn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So
and he looked like he'd probably go through it quite quick with panic.
He was panicking, especially when the torch went out and you could hear him going, oh no.
And all you can see is your living room back at you.
You can see yourself in the telecaster sometimes. You're like, oh my god.
Halfway through your super noodles, like, oh god.
I hate that when you can see your reflection. You're like, no, don't show me that. Don't show me that.
So the pieces of the puzzle sort of slowly start to get pieced together between Rue and Justin, and it wasn't a romantic walk in the woods.
It was really not.
It's like, oh yeah, they've been doing these challenges. Shall we watch one? Oh look, they must be buried alive. Yeah. Oh, and Rue just happened to recognise that tree.
That was hilarious because that was literally
she knows exactly where
a shot of a tree. It was like a 2-second background, wasn't it? Oh, I know where that is. I was like, wait a minute, Rue, you should be like.
This is why we're knackered so, because it's just been so fast.
You're right. Oh dear.
I was thinking, at least do the whole Find My iPhone or something. You know, like, give me something.
Oh dear. Hilarious.
So they find a third wheel in record time.
Yeah.
And he's like, go and save Ryder first. I've buried him. She's like, yo, what? So they get Ryder out again. It'd take me another 5 hours to get down there.
Yeah. No.
If it was me.
I did dig him out really quickly because at one point there was still quite a lot of dirt on the box, and the next thing the box was open. I was like, "Blimmin' heck, that was quick."
I know. And then he's in the hospital, and then obviously quite hilarious moments where everyone's finding out what's happened.
Oh,
Jasmine's like,
"Yeah,
you what?"
Yeah. He's been buried in a coffin. What? How long has he been buried for? Since yesterday? Really?
Logan was like, what's happening here then? He got buried alive. How did that happen?
I know. I think when Jasmine said, what? I think Rue went, yeah, I know. Like, as if to say, move on. We know. Oh, dear. But it wasn't looking too good for him, was it? Because he was brought in, he was unconscious, slow pulse, I think it was, and oxygen levels were low. It wasn't looking. He did when Justin pulled him out of the box. I actually did feel a bit sad. He looked quite lifeless and dead, didn't he? I was like, oh no.
Yeah, and obviously we've got a bit of a soft spot for him, haven't we?
We do.
You know
We
what I
love
mean?
Ryder. So I knew he was going to be all right, but I still had that bit where I was like, oh God, he really does look like he's dead there.
Yeah. And obviously Theo is making a bit of a fast recovery. He's got nothing wrong with him.
Just got a tiny cut on his head.
Yeah, and Alf hits the flaming roof.
Oh, he does. Yeah. Bless him. Alf looked like he was going to pop a blood vessel, didn't he? Like, didn't look good. I was like, no, Alf, your blood pressure.
I think he's at his wit's end.
He is.
Because of everything else that's going on.
Well, we were saying that last week, weren't we? With everything that's going on with Martha, like Ryder's timing of being buried in a coffin is, it's pretty poor taste, isn't it, right now for his family?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a little bit of a greater understanding after they watch his video back where he sort of says, if this is it, I want my granddad to have my money.
Oh no.
And so I think they understand. But it was a bit like, when he says, I didn't know he was feeling this pressure to pay this back. And I thought, really, I can recall a couple of occasions where you've told him not to worry and pay back whenever.
Yeah.
You've not been like mithering him for it back.
No. He went and gave him half the money recently, didn't he? Because Chloe gave him her half and he paid it straight to Mr. Stewart. And Mr. Stewart said at the time, don't worry about it. Just pay it back when you can, but no pressure.
Yeah.
So it's Ryder putting the pressure on himself, but obviously Alf's taken that on himself now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's angry at himself, I think, rather than angry at the world. But
yeah, and I don't think it's the end. This now because Ryder was showing signs. Was it anxiousness, or he wouldn't let Rue leave and get a coffee?
I know. Yeah, and he was grabbing the sheets on the bed, wasn't he? Like he was stressed. Yeah. No, get the nurse. Get the nurse to bring her coffee. You can stay with me. Yeah. Is it like a bit like Marilyn when she couldn't be left alone after she collapsed? Are we going to see that with Ryder?
I'm going to see another PTSD type.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Sort of aftermath, really. I think.
Yeah.
Which I think will be quite. I don't know. Is this like a public service type storyline? Are we supposed to be teaching the youngsters about the perils of social media and what it can do to you? But obviously in a heightened soap opera drama way.
Peer pressure and the lure of the money and all of that sort of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, things can get out of hand quite quickly.
Yeah.
And I sort of teaching the youngsters that watch what's important in life.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of that going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I think because it's such a lovable character that it's happening to.
Yes.
Yeah. We definitely we care a bit about it. So let's see how this unfolds.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good one. I think it'll be a good one for us to discuss on these podcasts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but not in like an excitable way.
No.
In like caring, like I really want to see what happens kind of way. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, elsewhere in the hospital, and probably another reason why Alf is getting so sort of at his wit's end is Martha and Rue transplant storyline. So she needs the transplant, doesn't she? Last week she went to the wire and U-turned on it, and Rue's struggling. She's been out as back in the day, and she's been sort of saying, I can't face her.
Yeah.
And she sort of, in the end, she goes to the hospital and she says, I need answers.
Yeah.
Doesn't she?
Yeah. I think, was it Irene that got her to come and talk to her? Because she was on the beach, wasn't she? And Irene came over and said, look, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think she said, why is she not fighting for us? Why is she doing this? And then Irene was like, well, the only person you can get answers from is your mum. So you need to go and talk to her.
Yeah.
So off she went. But
off she goes.
She didn't,
did you like her explanation?
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was a particular. I get it. I get that she's, she's saying hypothetically in the future you might need 2 kidneys and you might be ill yourself and all of that stuff. But I don't think. I don't know. I thought it was a bit weak, but I mean, she's had ages to tell them that, and they kind of said that to her, didn't they? They said, "Well, you agreed to it originally, so if you really, why didn't you tell us before? Why did you leave it till the last minute? Like, talk about drama, Martha."
She says, doesn't she? We've been signing forms. I've been going to therapy.
Yeah.
All that stuff, and do you think this is going to end up being, Martha's mental health? I'm a bit worried that that's going to creep back in.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm a bit worried that's going to come back in, but I'm with you. I get what she's saying, right? I didn't really get the whole line. You've got your whole life ahead of you. I'm thinking she's middle aged. Yes. Come on, she's not 18. Do you know what I mean? She's not.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think Rue should have been offering her the kidney anyway.
No.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying she should be punishing her mum for what she did to her, but it all came up in that therapy session.
Yeah.
A lot's gone down. It's affected not just her, it's affected other members of the family.
Yeah.
I know they're all supposed to have got past it, yada yada yada, but I don't think it's as cut and dry as what it appears to be on the surface. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there should be more complexities to Rue's decision.
Yes.
Personally, and I think they alluded to it briefly, but probably didn't want to dwell on it too much. And I can understand why, because it's a bit deep and wishy-washy. But yeah, she's right in what she's saying. I'm happy having the dialysis, and you can live happily ever after. But Rue is more than willing. It's not like she's Rue's not sort of saying to her, "I'm hesitating, Mum."
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried about what if I get her. None of that. We've not seen any of that discussion.
No.
So it seems a bit random, doesn't it? Her refusal.
I just think Martha's just being a martyr, isn't she? She's just like, just let me die. I think it was you that tweeted something recently where you were like, Martha just seems to like dying. Like, she does.
Yes, absolutely. I think I did. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Like, I think she does like it, and I think she. I keep losing my train of thought, but I'm not sure she's thought through the future really and how viable it is with a condition to continue for much longer, really. And then Rue's had enough, and she just amazing scene. I thought really powerful performance from Georgie Parker. She just says, "I don't want anything to do with you."
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with you, and she storms out, doesn't she? And you sort of think, oh, it's hit the fan here.
Yeah, it was that line as she stormed out. She said something like, "If you're so desperate to leave us, I may as well start grieving for you now." And then she just went out, didn't she? And I was like, whoa. I mean, she's got a point, hasn't she? I mean, I get it. I get that Martha doesn't want to jeopardize Rue's future and all that sort of stuff, but she's not thinking about what's going to happen when she dies and how it's going to affect Alf and how it's going to affect Martha and how they're going to feel knowing that they could have saved her. Like,
especially considering they've already had to do all this once.
Yeah, exactly. And she's not thinking that through at all. I don't think she's thinking of the impact that it will have when she doesn't make it. So and
Rue still is based in the hospital for the remainder of the week's episodes, but is obviously down in the wing where Ryder is. And after Alf has been down there and had his big outbursts, and he's like, "I'm off back to see how Martha's doing," and she's like, "Okay." There was a few things, but there was a few little. Did you notice that? She's like, "Okay." Like, don't talk to me about her, because she's well and truly got the ump, and
she ain't my
mother. She's well and truly got the ump. So she's They'll make it up, right? This isn't going to go on forever. They're grown adults. She's going to go back to her mum, and
Yeah.
they're going to make it up. I don't know what the solution is long term. We'll
No.
we'll have to keep tuning in to find out.
Yeah.
When obviously Ryder's well enough to start asking questions as well, he's like to Rue, "How's Martha? Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Haven't you spoken about an operation?"
Yeah.
And she just quickly changes the subject.
Yeah.
So even
Love
Ryder's
story.
not really. He doesn't even know the big rift that's going on in the family
No.
at the minute. So
No.
we're gonna see that in coming episodes, I imagine.
Yeah.
And see how that resolves. Where do you think? Can you see a way out without the transplant? Can you see a way forward?
Not unless she gets one off the donor register, but if she doesn't have it, she's going to die, isn't she? I think that's the end. So
yeah, and the logic she's applying for not accepting Rue's donation, it could be the same logic you could apply to any other living donation.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Well, unless it's obviously not a living donation.
Yeah.
Maybe Matthew's got a really good kidney going.
He's been in that boot too long, I think. I think he'll be a bit, out.
Cash has found his donor card in the boot.
I don't think he'd want that kidney. That's been in the boot for an hour and in a car going really fast.
I thought you were going to say, I don't think you want that kidney, rapist.
Yeah, you don't want a rapist kidney. No, that's no. Yeah, he's just going to get cremated. I'm sorry. Bye, Matthew.
Now let's talk about Logan.
Oh no.
And Mac. We've had such a good week. I'm not too good a week of they've had, haven't they, Mac and Logan?
They've been all over,
and it's
haven't they? Like,
yeah,
public display of affection. Like, look.
We've said before that that's what they're for, right?
Yeah.
And I quite like the chemistry. It is a bit of fun, and it's probably much needed after all what we've just been discussing has been going on.
Yeah.
So, and they've had a really good week, sort of reconnecting, because there was this big, like, whiny disagreement about him moving in, not moving in, blah blah blah, blah the week before, weren't there?
Yeah.
And so obviously everything's been ironed out with Bella, and he's moving in. It's official, and they've had a really good week. And in typical Homer's fashion, when something's too happy, it's too good to be true.
Yeah. Yes. Oh dear.
Do you think his ex has turned up? Do you think to me, she looks like a bit of a junkie?
Yeah, they didn't look like a couple to me, and I couldn't. Do we even know her name? Because all I've heard him call her is my ex for all the episodes, so I couldn't even.
Not had a name. Yeah, not had a name. Yeah. Unless you have on 5 Star. Have you watched today's 5 Star?
I have, but I still don't think they said her name. I can't remember.
No. Because the initial conversations was, "Oh, it is you," because he randomly texts, doesn't he? Just disappears, pretends he's got a shift again. He's making a habit of that, you know.
I know. I don't think I trust him now with his
lying
lies.
lying about going to work. Ex or not, that's not cricket.
No.
I'm not feeling that at all. So, yeah, not liking that. And obviously he's met up with her, and then we find out this sort of she's army, or on the run from. Because she's escaped Afghanistan when they were out there or something.
Yeah, she's basically deserted the army, hasn't she? So she was saying that if they found her, she could be up for court martial. So she's obviously got some paperwork to get back into Australia, like some false documents, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's been 2 years, and the thing that I found really odd was it's been 2 years since they've seen each other, and she's just all over him, like as if they were together yesterday. And I was like, gosh, like, wouldn't you ask, like, where are you? Are you married? Have you got someone else? I wouldn't have just assumed that this guy had been pining for me for 2 years. Is it just me?
I know. No, especially as she reckons she's been, traveling around Europe during a pandemic.
I know.
Not a chance.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. There was a bit too much, and I didn't think the chemistry was there. Like when Mac and Logan, we talk about them being just like all over each other, PDAs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit bigger chemistry there. Quite funny though, and we've sort of discussed this in the past about people having different sort of they see things different to us.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and other people watch the same scene and it takes it different.
Yeah.
Catkins, one of our regular listeners, one of our regular contributors on Twitter.
Hello.
Yeah, if you're listening. Sent us a message today saying, you know, what did she say? Something like, wait, it wasn't Catkins. She was telling me about the spoiler, the Ari stuff, stuff. Somebody sent something on Twitter saying basically that who is this X? I prefer her I prefer her and Logan together than Mac and Logan. They've got more chemistry, and I think it's the other way around.
Oh, I don't agree with that. Yeah, I thought it was the other way around too. That's interesting.
I got that out in the end. Got all the names wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, I'm not seeing this at all. And she plants that kiss on him. Ziggy sees it.
Yeah, Ziggy. Ziggy's always there, isn't she? She sees everything.
She's never at work. Have you noticed?
No.
Another one. How is this garage open? Theo's never there. Justin's never there. Mustn't be much call for any MOTs around. Yeah, so obviously then there's this whole Dean, you better tell my sister, it's not what you think.
Yeah. Tell her all.
I'm making it sound tedious, but it's not. It's quite a good story, but I feel really, really sorry for Mac.
We've been here before, haven't we? That's what I'm finding a bit difficult with this, is that obviously when she was going out with Ari, we had Mia on the scene. And obviously Mia knew that Ari had moved on, so it was slightly different. But we knew that, eventually they were going to end up together, weren't they? So
yeah.
And now it's happening again. It's like, oh, really? Another ex turning up for Mac just as she's happy again. You know, she obviously went downhill, didn't she? Quite quickly after.
Yeah, but I must admit, I really enjoyed her going downhill.
It was good fun. It was good fun to watch, but it was a bit of a car crash, wasn't it? And
that pool party, honestly.
What was that? I wish we were talking about them about this. So that would have been so funny. But are we going to see more of that, or do you think she's that's
the worry, isn't it?
Yeah.
When Dean and Ziggy are talking, they're like, "Oh,
yeah,
we've had exes before."
Yeah.
And is it Dean Ziggy that says, "Let's see if it goes that way this time"?
Yeah.
I don't think though. I mean, not even Home and Away would do that to us so soon after the exact same thing. Surely.
I hope not. I'm hoping that she's come out a bit wiser, and right, next time I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do what I did before.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
Well, I noticed in the trailer she sort of said something along the lines of, "The universe stopped sending exes to me," and she sort of says, this time I'm going to take control of the situation. So it sounds like and that's the Mac that she was sort of portraying that she was last time.
Yeah.
And I said, she pretends to be this confident, self-assured woman.
Yeah.
But she's not, especially when it came to sort of the breakup with Tane. Ari, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm saying Tane because I still think Mac and Tane should
I know, that's still they won't they, isn't it? But,
yeah, she didn't sort of display that sort of strong I am woman.
No. Yeah.
I'm invincible. She was sort of weak and pathetic really, and sort of went spiraled, whereas this time it seems a bit early doors to call it, but it seems like she's taken the bull by the horns.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope this is her. I don't want to see her spiral. She's literally just happy, isn't she? Now they couldn't have picked a worse time for this, because she's got everything. She's got everything that she wants. So
typical, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Typical soap. Yeah. No one is happy, apart from John and Irene. Irene.
Oh no! That's even worse. I feel a little bit sick.
I'm going to tease you about it.
I've just had my dinner. Like, I'd like to keep it that way.
And that brings us to the end of this week's edition of Coastal News. A very dramatic week in the Bay. A very dramatic analysis, I would say. Been a good week. Been a fantastic week.
I forgot to say. Did you?
Yeah.
There was one line that I absolutely loved this week, and it came from Flick.
Yeah.
And it was when she was talking to Cash, and it was when she was saying, "Oh, you know, you did that thing for me with the receipt. Can you not help Ari out?" And then she says,
God, yeah.
"Don't you remember? Ari's the one that came to rescue me from Anne's Little Cave of Horrors." And I just absolutely lolled at that Little Cave of Horrors. Brilliant! That was my favourite line of the week. I forgot to mention it earlier when we were talking about Flick.
Yeah, I forgot about it. Yeah, you're right. She did. I did. It was funny how she tried to compare getting off the murder from hiding a receipt, but there we go.
He was like, "Shh."
An insight into the mind of Flick.
I know, bless her. And we just said she'd matured. She really hasn't. So yeah.
Don't forget, guys, we have new episodes every week following Home and Away as they air on Channel 5 and 5 Star in the UK. Back to 5 Star pace this week. I'm back home, so we'll get back. Normal service resumed, yeah?
Yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah, I'm one episode ahead of you already, so I'm like, come on!
How dare you? And yeah, keep in touch, as Sophie has told you how to do it. So keep in touch. Do subscribe to these episodes and subscribe on the link below. 99p will get you loads of extra episodes, including Sophie's scoop, behind the scenes goss from Home and Away, and also loads of unheard footage. It'd be unheard clippings of us on our recordings and all the stuff that goes on that you haven't heard yet. So do subscribe if you want all that and more. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.